Hello everybody and welcome to this session on the curly letter handwriting family. Today we are going to practice writing these letters, which are all part of our curly letter handwriting family. To practice your handwriting in this session, you'll need either a plain piece of paper or a whiteboard, as well as lined paper, and either a handwriting pen or a nice sharp pencil. Let's make a start. Let's practice our 9 letters. So we're going to go over the letter first. So going up, round in a curve, back round and hook. I'd like you to have a practice of this letter too. So we go up, round in a curve, back round and hook. There's the letter C. For the letter A we do the same. We start and go up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and hook. Up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and hook. Make sure you're practicing as well. So for the letter D, the same. Up, round in a curve, back round, up to the sky, down and hook. Up, round in a curve, back round, up above, down and hook. Now for the letter O, up, round the curve to the top, change direction, all the way round and hook. Up, round in a curve to the top, change direction, all the way around and hook. For the letter G, a bit like the letter C, so up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and under, loop and hook. Up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and under, loop and hook. For the letter Q, up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and under, hook. Up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and under, hook. For the letter S, up, round in a curve, back round, curve out and back and hook. Up, round in a curve, back round, curve out, back and hook. For the letter F we go up to the top, nice and high, curve, back round, down, under, loop and hook. Up to the sky curve, back round, down and under, loop and hook. For the letter E we go out, curve all the way around and hook. So diagonal line out, curve all the way around and hook. So that was stage 1. If you've practiced all the letters now and you're feeling confident, let's have a go with those letters on lined paper. Let's practice our curly letter handwriting family then, and let's try and keep our letters all the same size. So starting on the line for the letter C, up, round in a curve, back round and hook. For the letter A it's the same thing, so up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and hook. For the letter D we go up, round in a curve, back round, up to sky, down and hook. For the letter O we go up, round in a curve to the middle top, all the way back round, hook, and there we go. And for the letter G, up, round in a curve, back round, up, down, under, loop and hook. For the letter Q, up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and under and hook. For the letter S we're going to go up, round in a curve, back round, curve back and hook. For the letter F we're going to go up and curve, back, down and under, loop and hook. And for the letter E we're going to go out diagonally and curve all the way around and hook. There we go. So those are our 9 letters. Keep practicing those. So have another go at writing the 9 letters from our curly letter handwriting family. Try and keep the letters the same height, and keep them all resting on the line. You don't want any letters that are floating in the sky. You want them all nicely resting on the line. So keep practicing these 9 letters. I'd like you to write each letter at least 3 times. So I'm going to do my last line of 9 letters here, and I'd like you to do at least 3 for each letter. If there's a letter that you're struggling with, you can find the video for that letter and practice that letter over and over again until you get better at it. So there we go. We've now completed stage 2. So in this stage, we're going to practice joining our letters. I'm going to do 3 at a time. So the C, A and the D, I'd like you to have a go at joining those 3 letters. And again, so up, round in a curve, back round into your A, up, round in a curve, back round, up, down and hook. So have a go at doing 3 sets of C, A and D joined. Then I'd like you to have a go at doing O, G and Q. So O, G, Q on the line, up round, all the way back round for the O, washing line link into the next letter, into your G, then into your Q. So starting on the line, up to the top, all the way around, washing line into the G, down, loop, hook into your Q. So the G goes down, under, loop, hook, curves up for the Q, and round and down, under, and hook. Now for our next 3 letters, which are the S, F and E. So up, round in a curve, back round, curve, back and hook into that F, which that letter F goes nice and tall, doesn't it? As tall as the letter D. So up high, curve back, down, under, loop and hook. And then for the E, we just curve all the way around, don't we? So we come down, loop, hook, diagonal, curve all the way around and hook for your E. Let's get a bit more practice with that then. So now we've practiced joining these letters, we can now move on to stage 4. So we're going to write a sentence that includes all of the letters from the curly letter handwriting family, and that is cat food and dog food is quite cheap. Not sure whether that's actually true, but we're not too worried about the content of this sentence. We're practicing our curly letters and joining them nicely together. There are some letters that we haven't yet practiced, but we don't need to worry too much about those. Just really focus on our curly letter handwriting family letters. So cat food, and so curling up round, hooking nicely into the D, up, down and hook. Cat food and dog food. Watch that letter O as we washing line into the G. So when we hook from the letter O, when we join from the letter O, we don't go down to the line again. We do a washing line hook from the letter O, don't we? Look at those washing lines from one O to the next to the letter D. Cat food and dog food is quite cheap. Just about fitting on the line here. You might need to do this over 2 lines. And my next sentence I'm going to write a bit smaller though, because I know that when I write smaller my handwriting looks neater. Not to go too small though that you can't read it. It's important that we don't get carried away. Sometimes at school, don't we, when the teacher says you need to make your handwriting a bit smaller, children can sometimes go a bit too far and make it, you know, like little tiny little ants writing. So don't make it too small, but you might be able to have a go at making your writing smaller if you need to. So cat food and dog food, watching those washing lines from the O to the D there, cat food and dog food, is quite cheap. Now in stage 4 of these handwriting sessions, it's a chance to experiment with a bit of our style. So I'm just turning the page there at an angle because I'm going to have a little go at writing in a forward slant. Now remember, as I always say, we've got to be careful when we do this because it can look a bit silly if we just slant some letters and not others. We've got to make sure that all the letters are leaning forwards the same amount. And this might not be the right style for you. You might prefer not to write with a slant, and that is absolutely fine. Or you might want to write with a backward slant where the letters are leaning the other direction. For me, I find it more comfortable writing with a slight forward slant like this, but everyone has a different style of handwriting. So you just need to experiment with your handwriting until you find the style that's right for you. Right, well, I have to remember that these lines that I'm using are quite widely spaced out. So I'm going to try and write even smaller, just a bit smaller, just to see if it makes any difference, to see if I can get any neater. Because I know that when I'm writing on lines where they're more narrowly spaced out, my writing might look quite big if I write like this. So that's why I'm just going to have a go at writing a bit smaller, but not too small. I don't want my writing to be tiny that you can't, so tiny that you can't read it. So I've written my 4 sentences now. I'm going to have a little think about which style I prefer. So you look for what's the neatest, but also look for what's comfortable for you. So I find it much more comfortable writing with a forward slant, and writing a bit smaller I think makes my writing a bit neater, so I'm going to tick that 4th one. Have a look at the sentences you've experimented with and give your favourite a tick. Well done everybody, good effort. If there's a letter that you need a bit more practice with, for example the letter O, which is a bit tricky, or the letter F, you can see in the description a link for each single letter. We'll also be starting our ladder letter family soon. See you later then, bye bye!